You wish you could be Bonnie, my dog, who has taken up residence in Jody's lap.
Oh, yes, I would certainly pitch a home there.
You would pitch a tent? You would pitch a tent there. All right. What? Yeah. Come on.
Or a fit. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
You know, if Lauren Boebert is QAnon Veronica,
yes,
and Melissa and Marjorie Taylor Greene is QAnon Betty, I'm just thinking that, you know, the auditions for the role of Jughead in that comment, in that comic, would like be the beginning of a chorus line.
Yeah,
it's Matt.
It'd be like 5, 6, 7, 8,
Matt,
thousands of Republican congressmen trying to be Jughead.
Yeah, and Travis is right. It's Matt Gaetz.
It's Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, it's Matt Gaetz, obviously.
I don't know, man. This Comer guy is coming up on the rails very fast.
Yeah, this is the goober from Kentucky, as we mentioned. Charlie, you summed it up best on Twitter. You said Biden's people did everything by the book. Trump, meanwhile, insisted the book was his, lied about having it, then refused to give it back. End of story.
Are you sure that was me?
Yeah, it was you.
I don't think I did that.
That was you. Well, you know, I have to say,
I must have been delusional at the time.
No. I have to say, you wrote this piece, obviously, before I would assume this latest news out of Albuquerque, where an actual failed Republican candidate, election denier, shot up and paid people to shoot up some Democratic.
He paid a drug dealer to shoot up somebody's pad.
Yeah.
I mean, there are levels of. I mean, you can't ask. I mean, I looked for the humor in that story and I didn't find it, but I found everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really bad. This is the crazy filtering. The dangerous crazy filtering down to offices political offices and elected officials that we normally don't even care about.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I said, how close are we to Carrie Lake being the homecoming queen's got a gun? I mean, it goes to your whole piece. Merrick Garland has risked justice by betting on impartiality. And I thought you made so many good points here. Jody, you might want to talk to your professional husband here. Because Jody always has to talk me off the ledge. But, I do think, Jody, this is just an outgrowth of no accountability for January 6th.
That was my blinking red light that my patience is coming to an end. Basically, that story. It's inexplicable to me now.
Yeah,
and I understand that people made a big deal out of how fast he appointed a special counsel for the Biden papers, but he appointed him fast because there's nothing there.
Right. Yeah.
He wants to clear the deck.
Yeah.
I mean, it took him a while to appoint one for the pool shed papers because he didn't know the magnitude of what he had.
Right. Correct.
I think.
I mean,
that's giving him the benefit of a whole lot of doubt.
Yeah.
You said my patience with Attorney General Merrick Garland and his dilatory pursuit of the former president and various thieves and yahoos under his employ is now exhausted. I admire Garland's judiciousness and his scrupulous regard for legal proprieties. I did before and I still do. But you just said Garland waited so long that political circumstances caught up with him for the past week, despite dozens of explainers on TV and in the written press about how the two situations are completely different. An equivalence has been advanced in the public mind that can do nothing but obstruct DOJ's pursuit of the previous administration's crimes. I mean, I know that before the special counsel was appointed, Jody, like people like Barb McQuaid said, I think this finding these classifieds up complicates the prosecution of Trump for Mar-a-Lago. But now I think it clarifies it with the appointment of the special counsel. I mean, as you say, Charlie, if they find nothing with that, which what we all assume is going to happen, it paves the way for Jack Smith, hopefully.
I mean, and I don't even know the protocol. There's a big deal made all weekend about there not being a visitor log for Biden's house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that something that's been done?
No.
For everybody,
No.
For everybody else.
Yeah.
No. I mean, was there a visitor log at Hyannisport for the Kennedys or the LBJ Ranch or Nixon's place in Florida or California? I don't think so.
No. Yeah. No, exactly. You want to say,
I mean, I'm sure there's one at Mar-a-Lago because they took everybody's, personal details and raised money with them. But
yeah. Well, you made another point we've been talking about. You said Garland proceeded to name a special counsel in the Biden matter, one Robert Hur, a Trump-appointed former U.S. attorney with connections to the Federalist Society. Oh boy, here we go again. You said you quoted in selecting Mr. Hur, Garland continuing a pattern of asking former and current Trump-appointed U.S. attorneys to handle politically sensitive investigations, like the inquiries into the president's son, Hunter Biden, to allay any concerns about political bias. I keep saying, Charlie, it's just we seem to be the only ones that bend over backwards. It always has to be a Republican, always got to be a Trump appointee, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why. I don't know that a special counsel has to be somebody from within the Department of Justice either. Right. I mean, the most effective special counsel in my lifetime came from Harvard Law School.
Yeah,
it was Archibald Cox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and Lawrence Walsh came from Wall Street. Mm-hmm. And what's his name? Jaworski came from private practice in Houston.
Yeah.
These guys all did the job. I don't understand why it has to be someone from the department, unless there's a regulation that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
Because the status of the special counsel law has been changed so many times over the years.
Could it be classification?
Say again.
Could it be for classification reasons, as in classified documents, not
having clearance? I don't know. Yeah, Charlie, you also write the law is Aristotle.
Yeah, I can't believe there wasn't classified information involved in Iran Contra.
True.
And Walsh got to look at it. I mean, I don't know, but
yeah. It's a weird thing how Republican administrations keep getting away with crimes. I don't know. Right. I guess that's just my imagination. I don't know. Nixon, Iran Contra, Iraq War. Okay. You say the law, as Aristotle instructs us, is reason free from passion, but it's also reason with a purpose and a direction, reason with a sense of momentum to it. It's not reason bound by endless contemplation and analysis, and it's certainly not reason bound by political calculation and legal timidity. And I've come to conclude that both of these have contributed to Garland's having let the investigation into the crimes of Trump go on long enough that the forces of public reaction could gather sufficient strength to muddy the evidence and deaden the outrage. That is, I mean, I don't know what now we could do about that, right? I mean, it seems that this is almost...
Well, if he were to come out of nowhere with indictments, just call a press conference some, Wednesday and say, be at my office, be at my office at 11 o'clock in the morning, I'll have an announcement. And then he were to announce some indictments. That would be a lightning strike.
Yeah.
I think would reignite the story.
Yeah. Well,
because nobody expects him to do it now.
But the other part of it, you're right, is that now there's a monomaniacal Republican majority in the House that has no interest in anything but shielding the former president, his enablers, among its own membership, and the consequences of their 4 years of political vandalism and pillage that ended with the actual vandalism and pillage of the Capitol. You just said it was a distressing week in which it seemed like a lot of criminal consequence was slipping away again. That's probably unfair, considering Jack Smith has unloaded a blast of canister fire, dropping subpoenas on people associated with... I mean, it does seem like he's moving, at warp speed now, as I think Glenn Kirshner said. But you just said even the post-election grift in which the former president fleeced the rubes for his purported probe into voting irregularities, they're investigating that as well. But you say that's genuine momentum, except that the announcement was lost in the hurly-burly then of the Biden documents. Yeah. So... I mean, that's the thing is, the DOJ is not supposed to have any political bias, but you're right. I think people feel like it looks like Merrick Garland is afraid of House Republicans.
Yeah, it is not possible to avoid charges of political bias these days.
Right.
It's possible not to have any political bias, but it doesn't matter. You're going to get accused of it anyway.
Thank you. I just keep saying that. They're going to be whiny little bitches anyway. And
they really are, aren't they?
Yeah.
My goodness gracious.
But that's what you
I mean, Ryan Zinke got up the other day and gave his what they, unfortunately called his maiden speech in Congress. And thank you, Montana, for reviving this guy. And he got up talking about how the deep state was out to get him.
Oh, Lord. I know. It's all the same playbook.
They needed a trank gun on this guy.
Yeah. But, Charlie, your last sentence in the wake of just what happened in New Mexico, you said, I'm afraid that much of official Washington and too many of our fellow citizens, Garland cannot comprehend the dimensions of the threat posed to the Republic by the modern Republican Party, the curdled movement conservatism that its primary fuel, the power of the previous president as its engine. That really is it. And here's one of the outgrowths: is the insurrection has just never ended. Now it's continuing in New Mexico.
No, now the respectable end of the insurrection won out. You know, the other guys, all the deer camp patriots are all going to jail, but the guys who are embedded in the party all won.
Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, they didn't win as much as they could have, thank God. And they're making obvious jackasses out of themselves. But that part of the insurrection won.
Yeah. One more tweet before you go, because out here in California, and we love us some Di-Fi, don't we? Mm-hmm. Jody Hamilton, we love us some Di-Fi. Yeah, that being said, Katie Porter is a rock star. But you said Katie Porter might have tried reading The Subtle Art of Launching a Senate Campaign instead. You're of the camp that she should have waited for Dianne Feinstein to.
Well, not just that. The video was awful. The video looked like a C+, AV assignment from some junior high.
Yeah,
I thought she got off to a pretty bad start. I mean, I understand why she did it, and I'm sure it was a 50-50 call among her advisors.
Yeah,
I just would have gone the other way. That's all.
Yeah.
God knows if I was there, I'd vote for Katie Porter. Maybe I'll vote for her anyway.
Yeah. Well, I know, I love Di-Fi, but I think it's time for her to retire, and I just think Katie Porter is the future of the party.
97 if she gets reelected when she is, assuming she survives her next term.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, Charlie.
I mean, Barbara Boxer got out of the Senate when she was what? I don't think she was 50 yet, was she?
Yeah. She's still sharp if you see her on TV all the time.
Oh, she's terrific. Yeah.
B-Box rocks, as I've always said.
Yes.
All right, say goodbye to your girlfriend, please.
Bye-bye, Jodes.
Bye-bye,
everybody. Happy birthday again, Chris.
Thank you, Charlie.
Bonnie and Clyde say adieu.
Bonnie and Clyde. Da-da-da-da-da.
And make sure you read Charlie's columns at Esquire Politics.
Thank you.
Yes, do that.
Yes.
And don't listen to me talk over Chris being nice to me.
Love you, Charlie.
I don't know how radio works.